Welcome to Collaboration Conversations. I'm your host, Regina Partain Bergman, CEO of Bridgeport Strategy. Once again, I have the wonderful pleasure. Today has an added benefit to it that maybe we'll share with you. But I have the pleasure of having a guest co host. And my guest co host today is Barbara Sayers. And Barbara is the founder of Done For You email campaigns done right. Welcome, Barb.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Awesome. Barb, as you know, I like to keep my part of the introduction short because I want our people hearing from you. So I want you to share with us a bit about your journey getting to this place, who you serve, and why that's important to you.
Okay. So I was indoctrinated to entrepreneurship at a very young age. My mom did a whole bunch of stuff. She took in ironing for other families. She did cleaning their houses. We even spent one summer picking cotton. and so, with it was in my blood from a very early time. In addition to that, I've always used writing to express myself. I'm better at the written word than I am the spoken word. But that is what led me to doing what I do, which is email marketing. And in November of 2014, I received a phone call from my sister, Regina, and she asked me straight off the bat, how would you like to go into business together? And I didn't even have to think about it. I just said, sure, what are we doing? Well, she had just seen a webinar from a guy named Daniel Levitt out of Canada. And at the end of that webinar, he mentioned another program that he had, which was called Email Alchemy, where he teaches you how to monetize email lists. So she said, if you want to do this for a living, I'll help you get started. And so that was just a no-brainer for me. I love to write. It's what I'm good at, and it's a passion. So that's what got this business going. I serve small businesses, entrepreneurs, even organizations, and my repertoire, if you will, is just really all over the map. I'm helping a nonprofit down in New Mexico. I have an alternative medicine doctor, or a cryptocurrency guy. It's just all over the map. My work can help most every business. I haven't found one yet that it can't. I'm also helping Emmy in Arizona, who's also a dentist. She's with HOA. Do you know her, Emily?
Emmy is not a dentist. Her husband is.
Oh, her husband is. Okay. She does consulting for dental practices. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm helping her as well. So, I'm all over the map. And, as I said, this is my passion. That's what I love to do. It's also a means for me to provide a legacy for our son, who is disabled. And so it's very important for me to provide for his future.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Does that mean there's another Regina in your life?
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned a Regina, your sister.
Yeah.
That would be me, folks. That was the other inside.
Exactly. We are real life sisters.
Yes, and we truly were indoctrinated into entrepreneurship from a very young
Very
age.
early age, yes.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. It's great to be in business with your sister.
Yeah. And thus the name of her founding company, Sister to Sister Enterprises.
Yeah, I wanted the name of the company to reflect the fact that we were working together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah.
thank you. Great to do this with you today. Now, I will attempt not to call you sister this hour, but to call you Barb.
I'll answer to either one.
Okay, okay. I may slip. I don't promise not to.
Exactly.
So Barb, you have brought some amazing panelists with you today. Would you please introduce each of our panelists and have them share about their journey to getting to where they are today and who they serve and why?
Absolutely. So let's start with Phyllis. She was the first one to come in. Phyllis is a master connector.
Yes, I'm a master connector. So
Yes.
thank you again for the opportunity to be on the show. So what was my journey? So I am actually a recovered engineer. I spent 25 years in corporate America. And one day, so I started out in a lab and then I was in management and stuff. But one day when I was working in the lab, a girlfriend of mine said, you know, why don't we just go out to a local women's group and check it out? And so I went to this women's networking group and I'm thinking, wow, I'd never been to anything like it before. These women were so welcoming. It was a business and professional group in the area in Illinois, and they were so supportive, and they did some philanthropy and they did some legislative things. And I joined that group and I thought, wow, this is just a great way to help each other and support each other. So in my engineering career, I actually started a women's engineering group. I'm sorry, a
Nice.
women's networking group for the women engineers at my company. And we did philanthropy, education, we had fun, we did community outreach, and you know, probably that got adopted across all 50 states. And I thought, wow, this is just amazing. And so
Yeah.
before I left my engineering career, I started to run networking organizations, different women's, basically they were women's networking organizations. And it was just really fun. And I knew that I had a talent for connecting those people and providing a platform for them to do that. And so that kind of just continued on until my current project is with Achieve Systems. And I run and own their networking division, and we are building communities across the world of entrepreneurs, small business owners, speakers, authors, and this gives these communities a place that they can go monthly and have a place to find their joint venture partners, to find their collaboration partners. You know, people know, like, and trust you. And when they know and like you and they trust you, they will refer you, they will do business with you. And so we've created that platform. And actually, Emmy is one of my newest chapter leaders, starting a Scottsdale chapter in January. So I'm super excited about that. But the master connector part, what I learned over the years is I was good at what I did in engineering. And to me, being a master connector isn't just about connecting people to each other. It's connecting people to great resources. And that's what I do through the Achieve part of it. But it's connecting people to opportunities. It's connecting people to visibility. And so that's what my chapters do, the Connect and Collaborate. It's an opportunity monthly for entrepreneurs and small business owners to speak, sponsor, attend, or if they're interested, they can even own their own chapter. So we just launched our virtual international chapter. So that's why I'm saying we are connecting people across the globe, one community at a time. And it's just kind of a passion for me.
Wow. Very nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah, very nice.
And Dr. Emily Letran. So you're in Arizona as well?
No, I'm in Southern California.
Oh, okay. Scottsdale, for some reason, I thought that was Arizona. Anyway, Emily is a dentist and also a business coach. Tell us some more about your journey.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be on this platform. It's I'm always grateful to have the opportunity to share, and I'm always grateful that people, provide the opportunity so we can connect and learn from each other. So I'm actually originally from Vietnam, came to this country as a refugee, And so I've been a dentist for more than 30 years. I'm also a certified high performance coach. So we focus on leadership, mindset, high performing habits, which are clarity, energy, productivity, courage, and influence. Those are the main points. And also business marketing. I specialize in client retention. I have patients who've been with me for more than 25 years. So I usually tell people, hey, you want to learn how to keep a customer for 25 years? We can chat about it. Because obviously it's not just keeping them, right? Keeping them and they're coming back to you and they're referring people to you. So I really, really blessed to be on here and to reconnect with everybody, because I think for us, it's not just us growing, but it's helping other people grow. And sometimes when we have a chat like this, the right people is going to write, they're going to hear the right message, right? And so I'm here to add value and to connect.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Good job, Barb, bringing a great panel. I'm so excited to hear what you ladies have to say, especially since it sounds like collaboration is as important to you as it is to me. It
Tell us
truly
about your
is.
journey, Regina.
Well, so I have been an entrepreneur all my life, as long as I can remember. And some of those things included, official things. As Barb said, when we were children, we were entrepreneurs. We were cleaning houses and babysitting and doing lots of things of that nature. And I've been in network marketing. I was with Mary Kay Cosmetics. I was a senior sales director with them. But in 1996, I co-started a staffing firm in a small community in northern Texas, a small rural community where most people had no idea what staffing was. And they said, "Huh? You're doing what?" And only the people who were transferred in there by like major oil companies and that kind of thing had any idea what staffing was. Well, we grew that business over 12 and a half years, grew that to be just under a $5 million business regionally with 6 offices in 2 states. And, just can't keep a good entrepreneur down. And then the crash of 2008 hit and I had to close my doors. I wasn't able to sell my business. So March of 2009, I was out of business. So closing the doors on a $5 million company and walking away, basically. So I spent the next couple of years just doing charity work in my community, and then I was ready to get back in the saddle. And so my husband and I bought a home on a lake here in Texas, about an hour north of Fort Worth. And it was this big, beautiful home, and it was just the 2 of us. And I told my husband, the only way I can justify this expense and this big home is if we can have a bed and breakfast in it. And he agreed, so turned our home into a bed and breakfast and ran that for the next 5 years.
It was fantastic, by the way.
Oh, it was, I look at the pictures of it today and I go, wow, that was my house.
Yeah, exactly.
It was amazing. My husband passed away in 2 years into that journey, or about 2.5 years into that. And I continued to run the B&B and even created a rental next door, a lake house rental and event center next door. Started this business in January of 2015. I am a profit acceleration and exit strategy business coach, helping folks to build a business that is very profitable. We really want to exponentially grow their profit, and it is built in a way that it will run without them, so that ultimately when they're ready to do something else, they have choices about how they're going to exit that. Most entrepreneurs don't have those choices because they didn't build their business in a way that it has resale value, that anybody else is interested in buying it. So that's a bit about my journey. So thank you for asking.
Yes.
So Phyllis, you had said, and this will be, for everybody, but I want to plug into something you had said about, this is your passion. This is, you're very passionate about doing this. And what was the catalyst for that? For you becoming a connector, for you becoming a collaborator? What kind of was the thing that happened in your life that got you going on this journey?
So, can I tell a funny story?
Please.
We're all ears.
Before the world got crazy, my mother would send me to the ladies' room at these restaurants alone, and I would come back and tell her about all the nice ladies that I met and where they lived, and maybe if they had a business and how they could help. And then when I got fired from this position, I got fired from matchmaking my friends and connecting them because some of those didn't work out. But I realized that I had a knack for connecting things, like connecting people to the resources, and I have a pretty good memory. And so, but I have I have a CRM and all this other stuff, but I realized that I had this knack for, I'd be out meeting someone, and we all recommend things that we like, right? We went to a great movie, we went to a great restaurant. We're always talking and referring people to those places. But I don't know. That must be the engineer in me. I cataloged it all in my head. And when I'd be talking to people, I think, oh my goodness, you need to meet this person. You need to meet that person. They've got this service. You'd make a great power partner. You'd make a great referral partner. And then I sharpened those skills by running those networking groups all those years. So, and now I have a certification that I help people have success and monetize their networking. So it just became something fun and easy outside of my engineering chaos.
Cool.
But yet you put those engineering skills to use in it.
Yes.
Awesome. How about you, Emily? Is there kind of a catalyst for you, a turning point that kind of really got you excited about connecting and helping others and collaborating with others? And you are muted, if you'll unmute.
There we go. I was trying to click it on my picture and it didn't work. I'm clicking. I already clicked the thing. Several years ago, I decided, besides being a dentist, that I wanted to help more people. And so I started joining different business groups, and from meeting different people and having the privilege of having them open doors for me. Some of them were, a mentorship where you invest, right? And they open doors for you. Some of them were people like Phyllis, where we meet in mutual groups and we open doors for each other. And so when you actually experience it, I think it makes it much more personal, right?
Right.
Because the person who opened the door for you, maybe you can't open the door for them, but you can go and open the door for somebody else. And also it comes from where you are. If you're working in a certain niche, a certain vertical, and you meet people in other verticals who are trying to do business with a particular vertical, then you can also open the doors and make introductions. So I've been very, very blessed. I think wherever I'm sticking myself in, I find that, hey, I think I can introduce you to this person and that person, and the fun thing is, then you come full circle, right? Then you go and you meet, and you go, wait a minute, I had met you so many years, and now we're meeting again, and usually when they say, they say opposite attract, I think, being alike attract, right? You get into a room and people have they're like-minded and they want to collaborate, they want to help each other.
Right.
So I've been very blessed in being in those situations and having the capacity and the ability to introduce other people. And like when I mentioned earlier about how to keep a customer for 25 years, a big part of that is introduction or referral, right?
Yeah.
Because you can keep the customer, but how do you grow? And it's from them talking about you, which is very similar to us making introductions for each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And isn't it just a wonderful feeling when you're able to open those doors for others? You know, it's
Yeah.
great to have them open for you, but it's also a wonderful feeling to be able to connect to people. One of the things that just before this call this afternoon, I'd been visiting with a business broker on the East Coast, and was able to connect him with a finance person that I know on the West Coast, and and the two of them I know they'll be doing some exciting things together, and it's just, and I always say, can't wait to hear what comes out of this, I want to be the fly on the wall, right?
Right. And I think when we have the business experience, we also be able to see more of that synergy, right? Where we actually tell people, no, this is what I want you to do, and then this is what I want you to do, and just start there, then you can grow it more. But sometimes when people are not sure, they don't know, well, why are you introducing me to this person?
Right.
And that was my experience before, right? Somebody opened the door and said, you need to talk to so and so, and I'm wondering, why am I talking to so and so? Because sometimes I'm not ready. I'm not ready at that state, but the other person has already seen that I'm ready.
And they could see.
Yeah, they can see exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Barb, how about you? Was there a catalytic moment for you that something that you can remember where you suddenly grasped this idea of collaboration and connecting people together? Or is there anything that stands out to you?
She's thinking hard.
I see the smoke.
There's a catalyst. I've always been very outgoing. I'm certainly not an introvert. And I think it just came natural to me. But being with organizations like Achieve Systems and a couple other that I'm in, it certainly encourages collaboration, and I find that very rewarding. Yeah,
absolutely. I know for me, there are four things I'm kind of thinking of when I meet new people. One is, who can I introduce them to? Who do I know they would be a good collaborative partner with, or that can serve them, or they, one side or the other serve the other. Are they a good client prospect? Are they a good referral partner? Are they a good collaborative partner?
Yeah.
And looking at, how we move forward in those four ways. What has been? Oh, yes, please, Barb.
Yeah, I want to.
Or that was Emily. Sorry.
I want to add that it also has to do with the intention, right? When
absolutely.
We go to a meeting, and when we go to a business meeting or a networking event, we got certain motives. Right? I want to go and I want to meet certain people and I want to get certain leads. But also, if we set that intention that I'm going to come and I'm going to get the leads, and at the same time, I'm going to share my resources, I think we would be more, we'll be more consistent with what we do, and for people to know that, Regina is that kind of person, right? Where you can ask her and she will probably give you an answer or an introduction.
Yeah, an introduction if at all possible. If I know someone, and if I don't know someone that they need to know, I'm going to think, who do I know that knows someone that they need to know? Don't stop at your own boundaries, but take it out to the next level.
Yeah.
And it's all about intention. I like that you used that word, Emily, because it is about intention, isn't it?
Yes. So I took my kids to a couple of business conferences, and they learned this term. If you don't know the answer, you say, I'll scout for you, right? So sometimes I would tell them to do something, and they'll say, I'll scout for you, Mom, because they didn't want to do it. Like they'll find somebody to do it for them. But
I like that. I'll scout for you.
Yes, because you can't think of somebody right offhand that could help them, right? So,
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes, Phyllis, please add to that.
No, I love that. And I was going to add that one of the things that I find really powerful is giving people recommendations on their LinkedIn, on their Google page, on their Facebook business page, because that helps build their credibility and their visibility. Once I have and I'm working really hard to do that more often now, but once I've had a great experience with someone and I've had a taste and I've had great results from going and working with them, I like to do a recommendation. And I think that helps build credibility. And also, along with those recommendations, I know it's golden to me is when people give testimonies.
Yes.
And when you can do a video testimonial as well, that can be extremely powerful.
Yes.
And it's something, I'm glad you brought that up because it's an area that I probably don't focus, no, probably do it. I don't focus as much time on doing that as I should, giving those recommendations. And they are so very powerful. We get caught up in the busyness of our own day and the things that are, need to get done. And I forget to do that sometimes. So thank you for that reminder. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's part of that connection, right? Where you have a good experience and you recommend it to somebody else. And I want to ask that sometimes you have to be very, consistent. And if you ask for that recommendation or a testimonial and you know that they should do it and they said they would do it, and you sometimes you have to be after them to make sure they do it. I just had a chat with one of my clients yesterday, and she's all raving about me. And I said, okay, well, where's the testimonial, right? And then yesterday I reminded her and I said, well, doctor, I'm waiting to move to my big office so I can show them this is the before and this is the after. Like, this is what happened when I work with you. And I go, woman, you're not moving until another 30 days. I want that testimonial now.
Right.
But because her thinking is she got to show the proof.
Right.
But
Right.
But I think a lot of us, people can tell from your passion, right? If you're genuine, rather than, oh, she's just saying it because the other person is her friend, kind of thing. So so I'm glad I clarified that. I said that I got a simple solution for you. You do one now, and after you move, you do another one.
I like that.
And here's another suggestion. You write it for them and have them
Right.
Have them proof it and make any corrections and okay it, but you write it for them and then it's done.
It is, and I've done that before on people who are a little shy, right?
Yeah.
It's just to help them along. This particular dentist, she happened to do more than what I thought she did. So she started saying, well, I also made that investment because you said you invest here. And I was like, okay, wait. So like you're doing more than what I thought you were doing. So she's getting even more value, right? From the relationship, because, for example, she started talking about her brother wanting to move here from, I don't remember if it was from Hong Kong or Taiwan. And she started asking me, do you know any, attorney, like for to come, I'm blanking out on the word, to help people come into the country. Then I start giving her a recommendation there. It has nothing to do with growing the dental business, right? But it's because I know people. So to me, she's saying, well, you got answer for everything, right? Oh, immigrant attorney. That's the word I'm looking for.
There you go.
Right? Because then she started asking all these other questions that had nothing to do with what we say our program is going to do. And that's why it's sometimes when you write the testimonial for them, Barb, it's, if they got more value than that, then I would love for them to just say it, right?
Right, and that's why you have them proof it, because they'll beef it up.
Right.
Yeah.
You can also provide a template, here are some things to consider in it. But you mentioned, Emily, you mentioned a word that I think is so critical, and that is genuine recommendations.
Yeah.
Right.
I frequently will get recommendations on certain platforms from people I don't know. People and I'm like, oh, please don't do that. You really need, it needs to be genuine. It needs to be real. One of the things I like to do when making an introduction, because most of my introductions are made via email, and I, put both people in there. And one of the things I like to do too is to include the LinkedIn profile for each of them, so they can go and research each other a little bit before they have that conversation. And
yes. And a lot of time if I'm doing it via email, I ask the person, tell me what you want me to say, right?
I'm
And
doing that more.
and that way I will say exactly what you want me to say. And now if I'm in a rush, it might be
Yeah.
Phyllis meet Regina, Regina meet Phyllis. That's it. You guys
Yeah.
figure it
No,
out.
I love that.
And it's because you and I would preface it as I know you and I know you. You two need to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to write that elaborate intro, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm making an introduction for you to, let's say, Sharon Lecter, I would say, okay, well, what do you want me to write to Sharon, right? I can start out and say, Regina invited me on this, on this virtual meeting, and she is, and then it's the whole copy and paste what
Yeah.
you send me. So I think we have that sweet spot where if it's a genuine introduction, we can play with it. Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, people know that you actually know this person, and
Right.
and I have this greatest testimonial from one of my patients. He's an older gentleman. He came in, and I was upset because somebody had just yelled at me, and he could tell. So he go, "What's wrong with you today?" And I said, "Well, so and so just yelled at me, etc." And he said, "Do you want me to write you a testimonial?" I go, yes. I went and I took a blank piece of paper. I gave it to the gentleman, and he wrote something, and then he signed his name, right? And he gave it to me, and it says, "You're okay no matter what they say." And that was a testimonial with his signature.
Love it.
So
I love it.
I put it on the frame and I stuck it up on the wall, right?
Thank you.
There's a story
Absolutely.
behind it. And this is where your digital, Google review cannot do this.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I have old-fashioned stuff on my wall because I think it's who I am, right? And so if you're
Right.
old-fashioned or however you are, then it shows to the people who come into your business that's who you are. And sometimes people connect with that, right?
Yeah.
They say handwritten notes. They say, oh, this person is this way.
Right.
Everything is like just touch and touch and touch and electronic. Then you're a little bit different.
Yeah. Very true. What has what's been the most challenging part for you of being a connector and a collaborator? Barb, let's start with you. What's challenging in that? Because it's not all roses, right? There are times that a collaboration goes south, that it was probably not one you should have entered into, right? Or things changed along the way. So what are some of those challenges, and how do we avoid those if at all possible? What are some things that we can do to pre-qualify, if you will, some of those relationships? Barb, thoughts on that?
So I think you really have to know the person and the business that you're referring, that you're trying to connect to someone. You can't just say, oh yeah, I met this guy at a happy hour, and you might want to talk to him. Well, I don't know enough about him or his business yet to confidently connect him with anyone.
Right.
So I think a challenge is getting to know the people first in our busy lives.
So how do we do that?
Intentionally.
I like that. What does that look like, Barb, doing that intentionally?
Well, for me, I am an email person, so I like to send emails, and Zoom is my telephone, if you will.
Okay.
So I will get in touch with them and have them book a Zoom meeting for us to chat and get to know each other. And I say that right up front. Let's learn more about each other's business, how we can serve and support each other. And then we dive in, and I can feel more comfortable about referring them.
Yeah.
Or referring someone to them.
Right. Yeah. Because the last thing you want to do is burn burn your bridges either way,
Yeah.
referring them to someone when it's not going to be a good experience, or referring someone to them and it not be a good experience. Yeah.
Having you for a source that I can say, I can get you on a podcast if you're interested, has been
I love that.
magic. And then I tell them the name of your podcast and they're like, yeah.
So I actually do have, for anybody that know, there is a podcast as well as this show, and the podcast is called Pursuing Profit
With Principles.
Principles. And it is on hiatus at the moment, so we're not putting any shows in the can right this moment, but it will be coming back soon. So just have to get some ducks in a row first. But that has been a joy to do as well, and it's one-on-one interviews typically, and similar format to this, but a one-on-one interview, and where we talk about your business and have you share a leadership principle that has served you well, have you share a profit principle you've used in your business or profit strategy, and how being passionate about what you do has impacted your business. And so it's a fun interview to do. I love doing those. So that invitation is open to you, ladies, as well as an invitation for you to consider being a guest co-host for this show and bringing a panel of folks. So I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
So Phyllis, what are some of those challenges that you've dealt with, or that you can caution folks about?
It's just having clear expectations on both sides and making sure those expectations are met. Those are some of the difficulties I've had in the past. Most of my collaborations work out, but then they don't always work out. Like you said, it just depends. Sometimes I've been in some where the people think they want to do it, but then they don't. But typically I don't have a lot of problems with my collaborations. I mean, they're usually really, really positive.
That's great.
Because to me, it's about uplifting the other person. So, but I would just say, make sure the expectations are clear.
Yeah. And going back to what Barb said, I think it's important to have that time that you sit down and have a conversation. When I meet somebody, it's okay. We have this initial, there may be some potential here. Let's schedule a call. And we do a Zoom call, like Barb said, and I schedule them for 30 minutes on my calendar. So I want to feel them out and see if they're going to be a good client, referral partner, or collaborative partner, or somebody I can refer on to somebody else. That's what I'm looking for. And if they fit one of those, at least one of those boxes, then we move forward with that discussion and creating that. But you got to qualify them a bit for sure, or you're wasting everybody's time.
Right.
Yeah. And damaging your reputation potentially. And your reputation is everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Emily, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I do some qualification on the people that I meet. I think for me, being a high performance coach, I think you gotta own it yourself. So I could be making you the best, connection, introduction, or somebody I just met. Like I think a couple of days ago, I just texted Phyllis and I said, this person wants to coach hair salon people, and you work with hair salon, so there you go, just go talk to each other, right? and it could be, it could seem superficial like that, in the sense that they are working with the same target, right? They non-compete.
Yeah.
They're
Exactly.
working with the same target.
Yes.
I expect the people that I'm introducing to do their own due diligence. That's what I mean by, hey, you gotta own it. Yes, I didn't introduce you to somebody, off the street. Like the person I introduced Phyllis to, she belongs to a group called Ultra, and we work with Brendan Bouchard. So everybody's paying somewhere between 10 to 18K to be there, right? So I know that
They're pre-qualified
Yeah, they pre-qualified to a certain extent.
to a certain extent. Exactly.
And if they both working with the same market, non-compete,
Right.
that, you know,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
So I think for me, I'm more like that. I'm not gonna take the blame or take the fall. I tell people, you know, I just met this person. You want to talk
How
to this
about when
person?
it's
Talk to this
how about
person.
when it's not a referral, but when it's for your business, when it's somebody you want to collaborate with or you want to partner with in some way? What kind of a qualifying do you do for them then?
Well, I believe in the power of association. So I look at who do they hang out with. Their friends, their colleagues. I
Mm.
was one of my friends. This is kind of funny. We were going on the marketers cruise, and one of my friends had to back out. She has a family emergency. Um, her mom is going to go into surgery right before that, so she didn't want to go. So I said, "Let me put the word out there to find a roommate for you, right?" For my other friend, and this person, the captain gave me the name of this person. I've never met the person before. I just went online and I looked, and she is a member of an organization that Phyllis and I both belong to. And I look and I say we have 198 mutual friends. And I scroll the friends a little bit, and then I just told my friend, "She's good. She's good to go."
Makes the decision a lot easier, doesn't it?
Exactly, but that is because we know that organization, right?
Yeah.
And it's all
Right.
about collaboration. So I think whether it's for me specifically, or if I'm referring to somebody else, it's I look at who that person is, who they hang out with.
Right.
Um, and Phyllis and I, we've been friends for a long time. She knows. I'll call and say, "Do you know so and so? You know,
Yeah.
should I do business with this person?"
Yes.
Why? Because I don't want to do that homework. I can
Take
do
a shortcut.
I can do that exactly. So my company name is Exceptional Leverage. So
Yeah.
Love it.
why don't I leverage the
Yeah.
relationship that you already
Exactly.
have, as long as I'm not taking advantage of people, right?
I love that.
Yeah, I could go and try to look up somebody, 10 different websites, Google them, or I could just look and say, "Oh, mutual friend Regina Bergman, let me just go ask her. Do you know this
Yeah.
person?" And you may just say, "Oh yeah, she's good. I think she can help
Yeah.
you." So I do that a lot, and I do that for other people a
Yeah.
lot.
That's good.
Yeah, and so
That's a very good tip.
but ultimately, I think you got to own it. You can't.
Right.
If I make the introduction and it didn't work out, it cannot possibly be all me,
Yeah.
right? It would be if you match make people and then they didn't work out, so then it's your fault. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to figure it out. Yeah,
Some of it comes down to gut instinct too, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally believe in that. And the thing is, sometimes we may have friends who may not have as much experience, right? So they try to rely on us.
Right.
Perfect example is if I host an event and I have speakers there, and the attendees will look at the speaker and they know that I have trust the speaker to a certain extent
Right.
for them to be speaker at my event. But at the same
Right.
time, I don't think they should just go and side with everything and then come
Right.
back and say, "Why did you have that person speak at your
Yeah.
event?"
It's your fault.
Right? And I've heard that before, right?
Uh-huh.
And I would say, "Well, I know that person can teach that, and I know that person can do that. But it's really up to you to do the due diligence and check more on it, because I
Mhm.
I can't book everything, and maybe my experience with that thing is good, and
Yeah.
your experience is not good. So it could be a little bit random, but yeah, but
It's
you
just
gotta own it,
just like some people like one restaurant and other people don't.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Personality
Right,
comes
right.
into play, right?
Yeah, which is
Personality can be a
which
huge
is why
issue.
yeah.
Go ahead, Emily. What were you going to
Yes,
say?
yes. It's like you're reading you're reading the Google review. like my kids, they want to go eat somewhere, they got to read all the Google reviews, right? And I'm all, well, the pictures really look good. I think we should give it a try.
I love
Yeah,
it.
Emily's kids are great. I met them years and years ago when they were very,
Yeah.
very little. Um, But I wanted to add something to that about,
Please.
and that's the engineer in me also is doing the research. So before I go to a networking event, if I can see the guest list, and for sure, if I can't, after I get done going to the event, I research the people. Who would be a good collaboration partner?
Exactly.
Who might I be able to joint venture with? Who do I know that I could connect them to? So I
Yes.
love doing that research.
Yeah, I think that's just setting that intention, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that you set the intention, you want to go there and you want to connect with certain people, and the due diligence is, what is this audience? Because sometimes you go to a brand new audience, and
Yeah.
and they actually knock your tribe. You don't really fit in.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so that happens too. Because I've been there.
And that's important to recognize.
Right,
I work with a
right.
lot of folks that work with that meet people in networking groups online, and they'll come out and say, "Well, I didn't meet anybody in there that was a good fit," and then they'll have the breakout rooms, the one-on-one breakout rooms, and you've got to do the research on who's in the group before you go in. Before you go to that meeting, you need to research who's in that group. Are those people your people? Are they the kind of people who serve your audience in a non-competing way, as you said, Emily? Are they people that could be a good client, a good partner, referral partner, or collaborative partner?
Because our time
Ladies,
is valuable also. That's another reason to do that, what you just said. I mean,
yeah,
right, because we don't have time
absolutely.
to go to every single event, but what are the right places to go to meet collaboration partners?
Right. Yes. You mentioned a very important word just then, Phyllis.
Collaboration.
Time. We're out of time.
That went
We're
quick.
out of time. I know it does. It goes so fast. So we're going to move into our wrap-up round. So Barb's going to run the wrap-up round, and she is going to have each of you share your final thoughts on collaboration and your contact information. And while you are doing that, I'm going to put your contact information into the comments for our listeners. And we've had some comments in the comments. Let me see. Let's see. Cheyenne Creamer says, "Hi, Barb." Arina Strunida has said, "Hello, ladies." She says, "Dr. Emily, I'd love to get to know you and your work better. Let's connect."
Yay.
Cool.
Great to see you here, Arina. I love you. She's an
Awesome.
amazing one. As I said, I will be putting your contact information into the comments while Barb leads this wrap-up round, okay?
Okay.
So you'll see my eyes going all over the place here as I'm doing that.
So if I'm understanding correctly, we want to say a takeaway.
Your final thoughts on collaboration,
Right.
and your contact info.
So my final thoughts are what we just covered, that doing the research to know who you're connecting with or who's possible to connect with at a group setting. Super important. I know we lead very busy lives, and it's easy to skip that step, but I think it's really important. And as far as my contact information, my email is barb@DFY, which stands for Done For You, emailcampaigns.com. My website is Done For You Email Campaigns Done Right.com.
Awesome.
Phone number is 303-524-2163. Emily, would you like to go next?
Yes. So my thought on collaboration is gratitude. I think if you go to an event and you're grateful that you have that opportunity, and somebody make an introduction for you, you have the capacity and the ability to make introduction to other people. You've been blessed to have to be able to have that capacity, to have gratitude. I think people can tell, right? People can tell from a takers to somebody who show up to an event and who's a giver, and who want to share and who want to serve. So that's kind of one of my guiding light when I go into an unknown situation. Could be a unknown networking situation, right? And the crowd may be not somebody that I know. So I think gratitude would be my recommendation. You can connect with me on my website is dremilyletran.com. That's DREMILYLETRAN.com. You can download a business acceleration guide, which are my 8 principles on how I grew business for the past more than 30 years. Guess what? One of them is appreciation as one of the principles. And you can go to americandreamcoach.com to download that.
Fantastic.
Cool. Yeah. And along the lines of something you were saying there, when I meet with someone, one of the first things I say is, how can I serve and support you?
Yeah.
That really puts them at ease and gets them to open up.
Well, that's a great lead into me, because that's what I was going to say, Barb, is that was my big tip. Lead with a servant heart. And I always start with, first, how can I best serve you? And then how can we best serve each other? And so with that in mind, the way to get in touch with me is my main website is phyllismarlene.com. You can text me, email me, hire me, set up an appointment with me, learn about everything I do. And then there's a form, the same website, phyllismarlene.com/network-with-me. I actually have an intake form where you can tell me what you're looking for. Who are you looking to connect with? How can I best serve you? And, maybe I know some of those connections. So I hope everyone fills out one of those forms, and I would love to see how I can best serve you. So thank you. And thank you again for the
May
opportunity.
I steal that idea?
Yes.
Wonderful.
I can give you or fill out the form and you'll see what it
Awesome.
is. It's
I
powerful.
love that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right in my CRM.
Amazing. That sounds amazing. I love it. Ladies, this has been a real joy to meet with each of you today and to get to know you a bit. Wish you great success in your businesses, your relationships, those collaborations. Barb, thanks again for bringing such a great group of ladies.
I just want to
Appreciate
say
it.
thank you, girls, for showing up. Thank you so very much.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you so much
Maddie,
for
you're
inviting me.
Oh, yeah, I'm so glad that Barb invited both of you. So also, ladies, just remember that you are each invited to co-host a show as well. So I'll send you more information on that after the show.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
yeah, would love that. And with that, folks, we're going to say goodbye. We'll see you again next time on Collaboration Conversations. Bye for now.